Good morning, neighbors. It's been about 17 hours that the dough is cold proofing in the fridge. It is morning now and we are ready to bake it. How's your apple, dude? Yummy? I would like to show you what the dough looks like by now. It has risen ever so slightly, not too much. And before we bake it, we do what we call a poke test. This is what you do. You poked it a little bit. If it's ready, it will come back, rise back slowly, elegantly. If you poke it, then it's springing back very soon. That means it needs a little bit of time to be proofed. And if it's overproof, when you poke it, it will just deflate completely. You want an elegant response like so. It's spring back slowly. All right, so what you need to bake it, like I mentioned in the earlier video, is a Dutch oven. And other things is that you need a parchment paper, a little bit of flour, as I show you how we're going to use it, and this double-sided razor. This is what I do to score the bread. We're going to score the bread so that the bread has a space to expand. We're gonna have fun with it. Scoring is really fun, as you know. I really like scoring. I'm going to show you a simple score, and also I'm going to show you a little bit of a fancy score if you like to try it. Now, to prepare for our baking, the Dutch oven is put in the oven and it is being preheated together with the oven. Set the Dutch oven inside and turn on the oven to bake in 500 Fahrenheit. I have two Dutch ovens. And so if you see, carefully, like I'm going to open this, it's going to be hot. Thank you. There are two Dutch ovens in there, preheating together with the oven. You want to heat that Dutch oven for about an hour before you then use it. You want to create that nice, really hot environment in there. All right, so it has been preheating with 500 Fahrenheit temperature for 1.5 hours, and now we're ready to put the dough in there. All right, I'm going to stand up so that you can concentrate looking at the bottom. Let's see if I can tilt it ever so slightly. There you go. Parchment paper. You need parchment paper because you don't want the dough to stick in the Dutch oven. Flour a little bit. This. Elijah, please, can you be quiet for a second? Thank you. For our neighbor. Flop it over. There. Now we go to scoring. Scoring has a very old history behind it. Before, when the city only have one oven and everybody bake in the same oven, they score their bread so they know which one is which. You know, that's my bread, and that's how I know by scoring it in such a way. And then it becomes a baker's signature, and now it becomes an art form. This is a very simple one. Remember, double edge. You can use a knife, but I don't really recommend it because knife is not as sharp as this to do it. You want a swift, decisive motion. This is a very easy one. The checkered. Take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's enough. And if you like, you can play around with it. I'm just going to do a little bit of something. Make it nice and pretty. You can do whatever. You don't have to do this. This part is just for fun. You know, the important thing is you want to let room for the bread to then expand. I want to show you, if I can show you very clearly. Look at that. And when you open it up, you slit it, you see the bubble, there's the sign of fermentation. Now if you only have one Dutch oven, you can do it one at a time. You slit it and keep the other dough in the fridge still while you're baking the first one. But I'm going to have two. So right away, I open up another one. And remember, as of now, the Dutch oven is still in the fridge, heating up together with the fridge, not fridge, the oven in 500 Fahrenheit temperature. That one is from the calendar. This one I'm gonna score with one of my favorite scoring pattern, which is a rose. If you're my neighbor, you're... The video got cut off. Okay, here we go. Phew, phew. So when you're scoring, I like to score the dough when it is still cold, meaning it's right straight from the fridge. Score and go to the oven. That is Eli in the background playing with the mask. Have fun with scoring. You will get used to it. Don't get scared. Use your imagination. And voila. All right. Now very, very carefully. Pull your Dutch oven up. And plop that baby in there. Very carefully because it's very hot. Pop the lid back in. Then drop the temperature immediately to 430 Fahrenheit.
Then mommy, I want to buy a cake. I want to buy a cake.
All right, hold on. And then you bake it with the lid on, 430 Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. And in the 20 minutes mark, we open it up and we take the lid off. What happened is, with the lid on in the beginning, there's a steam environment created with inside that Dutch oven that will let the dough to rise before the crust harden. And when we open up the lid, then the crust start to harden and set and become that crunchy, lovely artisanal crust that we love. All right, I'll see you in the next video. All right, 20 minutes have gone, and now it's time to release the steam. It already smells like bread. Oh, one. Show you how it looks like now. Woo! Check that out. It has risen very well. And now we take it off and we put it back. It's the other one. The white pale color means that... Whoa! Oh my goodness. That was almost a disaster period. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there you go. You see that? That white pale color is a very great indication that it is perfectly steamed. And now we take it off and we put it back in the oven for another 15 to 30 minutes of baking. And that is depending on your preference on how dark you like your loaf. All right, I'm going to Put it back in the oven now, and then I'll show you the video when it's completely baked. Ciao! Alright neighbor, it's been 30 minutes that I baked the loaf in there with the lid off, and let's see how it comes out. That's one. Careful, don't touch the dough. It's very, very hot. I'm gonna put it aside for now. Ta-da! 2 simple country sourdough loaves. I would like to mention one thing. Every oven is different. I know that my oven runs hot, so I adjust the temperature accordingly. After you bake several loaves, you will start to see whether your oven runs hot or run cold, or is it true to the temperature. Another way to do it is also you can put a thermometer in there, and you check whether the temperature that is inside your oven is true to what is showing in the what do you call it, the digital surface or whatever it is that you have. And so this is the loaf. Ta-da! To check doneness of loaf, you can do this step. That's a good sound, a hollow sound. This one too. There you go. The crust is set and crunchy. This one is the rose pattern. This is the simple slash. So to recap, the formula for this loaf, it was 1000 grams of flour, 750 grams of water, 20 grams of salt, 170 grams of levain. We mix it, fermentalize it for 1 hour, and then we add the salt, and then we enter a bulk ferment. And that bulk ferment is depending on the temperature of your house, the temperature of water that you use. This particular batch, it took it 6.5 hours of bulk ferment. And inside that bulk ferment, we did the coil movement 5 times at any point within that bulk ferment. And after that, we dump the dough out, divide it and pre-shape, let it rest on the bench, which is benching, for about an hour. And after that, we shaped, remember, down. So, do, very easy. Put it in the colander or Benetton, and then we put it in the fridge for cold proofing for about between 12 to, you can stretch it to 36 hours. This one was cold proofing for about 17 hours. And then we bake it. Preheat the Dutch oven together with the oven with 500 Fahrenheit for about 2 hours, and then take the dough out, take the dough out of the fridge, score it, put it inside the dough, put the lid on, bake it for about 20 minutes and let it steam up over there. Drop the temperature to about 430 Fahrenheit to 450 Fahrenheit depending on your oven. And then after 20 minutes, take the lid of the dough off, let the steam out, and now we are hardening the crust for another 20 to 35 minutes depending on how your preference. I like my sourdough to look like this, golden. And Before you slice it open, you have to let it cool. Do not slice it right away, no matter how tempting it is. You want the steam inside the loaf to settle down first. If you cut it right now, all those steam gonna disperse out and your loaf going to be tasting gummy, and after that dried out very quickly. You want to let it cool down for at least 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. Bake it in the morning or bake it in the noon time, and then you will have it ready for dinner. And that's a very basic country sourdough loaves that you can make from home. Hopefully you have a good time with Norma or any kind of starter that you have and start creating sourdough loaves. Ciao. How is it, Elijah?
It's yummy.
It's really yummy? Yeah!